Well, the time is just gone 11 minutes to 10 as we head towards closure. And Alhamdulillah, once again this morning, we have the pleasure, we have the honor of launching our third annual educational Aqsa tour under the guidance of Maulana Musa Akudi and Hafiz Ayoob Dadabhay, our Amir and travel guide accompanying the group. And we are obviously targeting the July school holidays to discover Masjid al Aqsa. Hafiz Ayoob Dadabhay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome. Hafiz Ayub, Assalamu alaikum. I think we've lost him. We're going to get him to try and reconnect. For some reason, he has frozen. I think,
Sorry.
here we go. Here we go. Hafiz Ayub is back with us. Uh, I see you frozen once again, Hafiz Ayub. Perhaps if you could just reconnect so that we can get you. But what you are seeing on our screens right now is the advertising banner, the 2025 tour. And just to remind you that limited seating and what we've seen in the past, alhamdulillah, highly successful tours that we've had. Many of the people that have joined Brother Ayub, and I know he was also in Aqsa during the month of Ramadan. So, inshallah, looking forward to this. And this is what the Palestinians require of us as well. And they encourage us to visit Masjid al Aqsa as much as we can. So, the July holidays coming up. Beautiful weather, I suppose, in that part of the world as well, away from the winter. Brother Ayub, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, brother Inayat?
Alhamdulillah, shukr. And once again, an absolute pleasure launching the third educational tour together with Salam Media. And Alhamdulillah, looking ahead, once again at the July school holidays, and once again encouraging people like the Palestinians do. They want us there, they want us to visit Aqsa, and our presence just gives them so much courage, so much hope, so much support.
100%, brother Inayat. Alhamdulillah, I've just gotten back less than a month ago from uh, Aqsa, and Alhamdulillah, the calling is there. People, the only thing that Palestinians tell you is please carry on visiting Aqsa, please fill the masjid on our behalf. And that's, Alhamdulillah, what we try to do, as often as possible.
Yes, Alhamdulillah. And let's now look ahead at, obviously what is planned. And Salam Media, Alhamdulillah, very much a part of this tour in terms of marketing this tour as well. Judging by what has happened with previous tours, which we covered in Alhamdulillah in a lot of detail, both, prior and after people have actually got back. And Alhamdulillah, it's a tour that is definitely, it's a journey of a lifetime, but many, many people still talk very, very highly of this tour, Brother Ayub.
Alhamdulillah, we try to give the people the best value for money when traveling. A lot of people do this trip. Some people are only able to do it once in a lifetime. So we try to make it such that, they get the full enjoyment, they get the full benefits of Masjid al-Aqsa out of it. But besides the full benefits of Masjid al-Aqsa, they get to enjoy the trip when we travel. Uh, for that reason, we use Maulana Musa Akudi. Maulana Musa Akudi, Alhamdulillah, his knowledge and his wealth of knowledge when it comes to Aqsa is on a different level. So, all that makes this trip very, very fruitful, very, very exciting. And it's a wealth of information that we go with when we go on these trips, Alhamdulillah.
Yes. Now, let's just look at obviously July school holidays coming up, and let's talk about the July holiday trip. And I know there are limited seats that are available, but just take us through what people who are intending to go and want to be part and parcel of this tour together with yourselves. What can they expect?
Okay, so Alhamdulillah, we've been doing this trip now. This will be our third trip to Wasala Media. And over the years we've now decided, we chop and change a bit here and there. The core idea of the trip still stays the same, to visit Masjid al-Aqsa. But Alhamdulillah, this year, the last trip we did 3 nights in Amman, and then we went to Masjid al-Aqsa. This year we decided to change it a bit. So we're giving the guys a bit of a holiday and to see a bit more of Jordan, a lot of the Islamic sites as well, a little bit of touring, and then obviously to Masjid al-Aqsa. So this year we're doing Amman, we're doing Petra, and we're doing Wadi Rum. So it's staying in the bubble tents in the desert for a night, and then on our way to Masjid al-Aqsa. But with the core intention being more the Islamic ziyarats and stuff like that. En route to Masjid al-Aqsa, we will be doing, the graves of the prophets and the Anbiya and stuff like that. And then, like I said, it's a very good package. Breakfast and supper included. All tours, all entrance fees covered, all ziyarats covered. So Alhamdulillah, it's well worth the money.
Well, certainly. In fact, I think, obviously we've seen from the feedback from people that have been on the previous two tours as well, how highly they speak and how enjoyable, how highly informative it was, an educational tour in every sense of the word. And, there's just one cannot get enough of these type of tours because, like you mentioned, this time around, you're going to be doing something different. There's just so much more in that part of the world that one, apart from visiting Masjid al-Aqsa, can actually learn because there's such a rich history in the Sham region as a whole.
You see, so that's what a lot of people tend to forget, that when we go to Jordan as well, it might be a bit of a holiday, but we still in Babu Sham, right? We're still in the parts of the greater boundaries of Masjid al-Aqsa, if you think about it. So Bilad Sham. So Bilad Sham is not only Aqsa, it's part of Jordan, part of Syria and stuff like that. So Alhamdulillah, and there's a lot of Islamic history in Jordan as well. So we get to see a bit of everything this way. We made the trip a few days longer, but Alhamdulillah, in that sense, that people are getting much more out for their money.
Right. Now, let's talk about, obviously people that are interested. We know that there is limited seating. There is just, so many people that you can actually take along. And let's just talk about, why it's important for people, obviously, who are interested to book early. And also, let's talk about some of these limitations.
Okay, so we limitations are there because we pre-book the seats and stuff like that. But if we need to increase the numbers, we can do that. But we've got basically 2 months to get this group going, inshallah. And it's logistically it's not a problem, but we've got to plan in advance. So the earlier you book, the better it is. The earlier you book, the better we can plan the trip, so we don't have too much headaches on route and stuff like that. Alhamdulillah, we're traveling to a country where there's no normalcy. So in that sense, we try to make sure that everything is running smoothly before we depart, inshallah.
Yes, certainly. And also, I think for people, obviously, who have certain concerns about traveling to Masjid al-Aqsa at this point in time, I don't think it should really be a concern because we know in Ramadan, there were many, many people that made their presence in Masjid al-Aqsa without any problems.
Alhamdulillah, you do sometimes your stories where people got turned back, and that does happen. But most of the time, I mean, 98% of the people, 99% of the people, alhamdulillah, get through. Obviously, they're going to make it a bit difficult for us from time to time. They'll question some people, but that's just part and parcel of the journey. I always tell people that's part of your jihad, part of your sacrifice for traveling to Aqsa. And the way I look at it is for you get rewarded for that. This year in Ramadan, we were walking one day to Masjid al-Aqsa in the Fajr time. We got turned back at 3 or 4 of the entrances. And one of the guys turned around and said, this is so heartbreaking because we can't get into Masjid al-Aqsa. So we walked towards one of the other entrances and I told the brother, just look at it this way. That for every step you've taken now to get into Masjid al-Aqsa, how much reward you get in times 500. So just for your Fajr namaz today, you covered for so many years you covered. So it's part of the sacrifice. We just got to bear that in mind.
Well, certainly, definitely. And at the end of the day, we leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brother Ayub, just I know you're a bit in a rush, and obviously, we encourage people to contact yourself. I see the number is here, and I'm sure Salam Media will be putting this up onto our platforms as well in advertising it. Brother Ayub's number 0827860078,
Uh,
or you can contact us directly at Salam Media on 061 449 4691. But I think, Brother Ayub, we do encourage people to actually book early.
Inshallah, yes, that's the idea.
Perfect. Jazakallah khairan so much. And just to remind our viewers and our listeners that this departure date is from on the 8th of July. Coming back on the 18th of July, it is a package that includes return flights on Ethiopian Airlines. from Johannesburg. Breakfast, supper, and transfers included. Expert tour guides, four-star hotels, 7 nights in Aqsa, stay in the old city of Jerusalem. And I think that alone is an experience on its own, being in the old city, and also in terms of the Jordan, the historic Petra Caves, Wadi Rum, and also out in Amman. So definitely this is value for money, and all for 39,900 rand per person sharing. Remember, there will be limited limitations as far as seats are concerned, but also more importantly, an expert as far as a tour guide is concerned in discovering Masjid al-Aqsa, Ayub Dadabhay, and also we can get none better than Maulana Musa Akudi as a spiritual guide. Inshallah, Brother Ayub, I know we will be talking, we will be linking up as the tour progresses. Today has just been the launch of the tour, inshallah. And from time to time, I'm sure we will be touching base. And once we have the group together, inshallah, looking forward to once again the sessions that we had in preparing the people that will be joining you on the tour, inshallah, for Masjid Al-Aqsa, and providing and arming them with a lot of information, inshallah, which in itself is a huge value add.
100%. So inshallah, we used to do those classes, and that used to get the guys ready for the trip with Maulana Musa Akudi and Maulana Ibrahim Musa. And Alhamdulillah, with that in mind, by the time we leave, the people they have a basic idea of what to expect and what to this thing. So they're not going into Masjid Al-Aqsa blindfolded, and it really helps. So inshallah, that will be good.
Perfect. Jazakallah khairan so much. I know you pressed for time, Brother Ayub. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah and a great weekend. Assalamu alaikum wa
Jazakumullah khair.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ayub Dadabhay joining us and discovering Masjid Al-Aqsa, and that was just the launch this morning right here on Salam Media. Discover Aqsa together with Ayub Dadabhay and Salam Media. And please stay on our social media pages for a lot more information and a lot more detail. And with that, we about to end this morning's broadcast. And just to remind you that this hour of news and views was brought to you by Africa Muslim Agency. We still have got, and I'm going to be leaving you with this fired up with Hafiz Imran Chunara, Personal Excellence Mentor and also CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. And with that, I'm taking leave of you. And just to remind you once again, on the Aqsa Tour contact number, it's Salam Media 061 449 and also at the same time the events that are taking place ahead of the long weekend. Monday is a holiday, and particularly for us, I know there is an event that is taking place in Durban as well, some protest action that is taking place. We know about the one in Cape Town as well that is taking place today, marking the global day for the protests on Gaza. But more importantly, looking at Gauteng, and this is the Action Coalition against the Egyptian embassy, the complicity within which the Egyptian embassy has been operating. And we do encourage people to come out in your numbers, come out with your families. It's a public holiday. Please come out and join in the protest action that is going to be taking place at the Egyptian embassy on Monday, and this will be at around 1:30. And there are going to be buses. There are going to be convoys leaving from Lenasia, from Benoni, and also from Johannesburg. Social Intifada. Look at the Instagram page. A lot of the information is there with regard to the times and also the departure points as well. And bearing in mind that this is aimed at the Egyptian regime, betrayal of Gaza. The Egyptian regime itself has destroyed hundreds of tunnels under the Rafah border, which were Gaza's key source of essential goods, fuel, and materials. It built massive steel and concrete barriers both above and underground to basically seal Gaza off. And this has been the Egyptian regime. They've been suppressing journalists, doctors, and activists from supporting Palestine. Around 129 Egyptians have been detained for pro Palestinian activism since 2023. They remain in Egyptian prisons. And also at the same time, we've seen how entry has routinely been hindered, denied to international aid convoys attempting to deliver supplies to Gaza through the Rafah crossing. Over and above that, all the exploitation that has taken place with Palestinians desperately trying to get out of Gaza for medical treatment and for other reasons as well. The exploitation where thousands and thousands of dollars are actually being paid to unscrupulous, corrupt Egyptians. So all of this put into perspective tells us that we need to stand up, we need to raise our voice, and let us not retreat in our comfort zone. The Palestinians have been paying with everything, with their lives, with each and everything that they actually own. And at the end of the day, we owe it to them. We need to be their voices, and let us raise our voices. Let us come out in our numbers comes Monday, and let us make a statement. Let us send this powerful message to the Egyptian embassy. Enough is enough, and you must, you have to, and you will open up the Rafah crossing. And with that, I'm signing off. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.